I'm here today to talk about my family, which is something most of you know I don't do very often. Seems intent on making them an issue in this race. In our debates, on his social media platforms, in his fundraising emails, and his campaign ads. Questioning their integrity, weaponizing their history, appropriating their words. The senator's time would be better spent reconciling his own history with the civil rights movement over the course of the past 50 years. Opposing the desegregation of the Boston public schools in the 1970s, standing with Bob Jones University to protect a ban on interracial relationships in the 1980s, voting for mass incarceration in the 1990s, dismissing and insulting the parents of a young black man from Massachusetts who was killed by a white police officer, using the term colored to their faces. When I think of the job of a United States Senator, you hope to serve in times of consequence. Senator Markey has been in government for nearly 50 years. He has served in times of tremendous consequence. And he has gotten it wrong, over and over. So he attacks my family. If he wants to talk about the Kennedys, then I will talk about the Kennedys. Because here's what my family was doing during that same half century. President Kennedy was writing the Civil Rights Act. My grandfather was sending federal marshals to protect the Freedom Riders and sending the National Guard to a schoolhouse door, fighting his own party to desegregate the South. My Uncle Teddy was right here, literally right here, where we stand, getting garbage thrown at his face by an angry mob for daring to defend desegregation. Meanwhile, Ed Markey was voting to keep black kids from white classrooms. My uncle lost votes that day he never got back. But he knew that the job of a United States Senator was to stand up for what is right, particularly when it is hard. My Aunt Jean was fighting to bring peace to Northern Ireland. And Eunice started the Special Olympics. My father, who Ed Markey is so eager to invoke these days, spent his congressional career working side by side with faith leaders, community activists in Roxbury and Dorchester, fighting the racist consequences of redlining to bring the American dream of home ownership closer to a reality for all. I am proud of their contribution and their history. But I recognize that that work is theirs. It is not mine. Because that is what my family taught me about legacy. A legacy is earned. It is earned in the streets where Senator Markey does not walk, in the communities that he does not visit, from the voices that he does not hear. It is earned when the cameras turn off and you stay behind, in the quiet conversations that he does not have with people who are grieving and suffering and struggling. It is earned with the political courage that he has not shown, with the sacrifices he chose not to make, with the messy but necessary work that he left for others. A legacy is earned. I'm a 39-year-old white man of tremendous privilege. My own work on racial justice is wholly incomplete. But this fight is in my blood. It's what my family taught me was right, what my faith teaches me is just, and what the country I believe in was founded to be, however imperfectly. So I have been in Roxbury and in Mattapan and in Lawrence and Springfield and Worcester day in and day out during this campaign. I have legislated on racial justice in education, in healthcare, and climate policy. I have stood with civil rights heroes like the late John Lewis, like Dolores Huerta, like Martin Luther King III, all of whom stand by with me in this race. I have listened and learned from the people standing here with me today, whose voices I trust to guide my way, and whose seats I cherish at our table. Because I know that you cannot hope to lead a battle that you do not show up for. And I know that a progressive movement that demands litmus tests on healthcare and climate change, but not on racial justice, isn't progressive at all. Senator Markey is trying to convince you that he is going to do something different with the next 6 years than he has done in the last 47. He's asking you to trust that he can lead a movement that he has never been a part of. He is telling you that he deserves a mantle that he has not earned. I never got to meet my grandfather. I know him through my father's pride, my aunts and uncles' stories, my grandmother's mischievous memories, and the thousands of moments shared with me by friend and stranger alike in every corner of this country. I know him through his words, which time and again called out white America for falling short, including members of his own party, for being allies in rhetoric, but not in action. We will not stand by, he pledged in 1961, as he primed U.S. Marshals to enter the South and defend desegregation. We are once again at a moment of profound racial reckoning, and we deserve a senator who will not stand by. Yes. Thank you. That's all I got for you today.